This call is being recorded.
All right, I'll go ahead and get it started. So tonight, the recording we're using is only an audio recording. So we don't actually have a video recording that will be uploaded. So it's 2017, May 25th. This is the WIKISPEED stand-up call and high five party. I'll go ahead and kick us off with the stand-up portion. So my name is Chris Wallace. I'm the product owner of the Burleson, Texas, USA Micro Factory. And last week I was, I purchased what I thought were the correct nuts for the Honda S2000 steering rack. They turned out not to be. It's actually, I purchased SAE and it should have been metric. I did remove the other S2000 tie rod end that was left and almost completed attaching the custom tie rod ends, except for just one block, which I'll bring up. I shot a demo of that build party, and then I just uploaded that to the WIKISPEED YouTube channel. I looked up the part number for the steering rack nuts, and I added that info to the Trello card that's being used to track this. I worked on the formatting for the Scrum for Hardware guide, just fairly briefly on that. And there'll probably be more information coming about that in the next couple of sprints. I fixed an issue on the Burleson, Texas webpage PayPal donate buttons. They weren't working. They just linked like to PayPal's front page. I have no idea why, but to fix them, I just went in and like edited and saved the buttons on PayPal and just recopied the code over, and that seemed to fix it right up. I also put that in here. I think maybe. Well, anyway, I shared those on Facebook and actually received a couple of donations. I discovered an issue with the custom CSS on the website, and I reached out to Stanley to see if there were any changes in the past couple of weeks that may be the reason for that. I also realized the original PayPal buttons for donation to WIKISPEED are no longer on the website. They've been replaced with like WooCommerce products, which is actually fine. It does work, but it currently does not have the option to subscribe like for monthly donations. So I created a card in Trello to restore that functionality one way or the other. We can either put the PayPal buttons back on for that or see if there's some way to do it through WooCommerce. Next week, I plan on working out, this may actually already be done, but whatever, fixing the issue with the custom CSS not working. These things, of course, have been in my past sprint plannings, but I still need to deep dive and figure out what needs to be done to complete the new member email that's sent to the admins. And then I mentioned that maybe. I think I mentioned it in our blogs. Okay, so I need to put the last two nuts onto the steering rack to complete that custom tie rod install. It shouldn't take long, so I actually should be able to go ahead and assemble the Harbor Freight's part bin this week too. So my only block is I now know the part number and everything for this nut that I was looking for, the Honda part number, and I know that it's a metric M14, but I cannot find any information that says what the thread pitch is. I suspect it's the metric fine thread. They actually have more thread types than the SAE, but the fine thread is what they call 1.5 thread pitch. I suspect that's what it is. So I purchased some nuts to test and when I'm at the next build party. But as of right now, that's an unknown. It may be what they call fine, super fine, I believe, which is 1.25. It's definitely not coarse or the other option. There's like I said, I think there's 4 designations in metric. Okay, and that pretty much wraps it up for me. So who would like to go next for their stand-up?
I can go next. So last week, yeah, I tried to tackle the custom CSS not being loaded. Yeah, I modified one file that I think that might be causing the issue, but I would like you to try it now, Chris, to see if that solved it. There's other stuff that I can keep trying. I can also try deactivating the two plugins I installed most recently. There's another option we can try. So yeah, I think this next week, this next sprint, if that final modify didn't solve it, then I think I'll see if I can try deactivating individually each plugin to see if the custom CSS got fixed. What is the custom CSS that we are trying to visualize, Chris?
Actually, there was nothing I was trying to add to it, but it's everything that's in that code custom deal. So the way I noticed it first, and I thought it was just a fluke, was the button placement that you had previously fixed.
Okay.
It was no longer working. Now, when I really realized what was going on, this was when I was looking at the Burleson, Texas page. I noticed that like the links weren't underlined anymore, the spacing below, just all of the formatting. So everything that custom CSS is not working at that point.
Okay.
And actually, we can discuss this more during crosstalk because I have one suggestion maybe before we start trying to enable and disable, or I'm sorry, disable and enable, plugins that have been added. There may be one other thing we can try.
Okay. So yeah, that's me.
Did you have any blocks that were getting in the way?
No blockers. But a lot of possible options that we can try after. No blockers.
Awesome. Thank you. I believe that leaves you, Lauren.
Hey, okay. Lawrence Salter in Gabriel Island, British Columbia. So this past week I did not too much. Well, no, I did get from Joe the information on the expenses and things and revenue for the final 2 years, and then I didn't do too much with it. Well, I got it downloaded, got it kind of available, and I have partially updated. I've moved everything over on the form so that we now have 2012 through 2016, which gives us the 5 years necessary. So that that's good, but it was less than I was hoping to do. A bunch of things. Oh yeah. Well, I'll get to that in blocks. Coming week, I'll hope to finish off the form, send it to Joe for signature, which was my goal for this week, and so that's for the coming week. And the blocks are that the tax return does not include an asset balance. That's more likely in a corporate filing. So I need to, I poured through it and looked through it, and there's things about assets and things, but they're by year, whereas it's the asset balance is overall cash, not coming in and out, things like that. So it's available for some years, and I'm sure it's somewhere there. So that's a bit of a block that I have to go after for 2015, 2016. And also the blocks have been just having to pay taxes and things like that. Boring, things you put off, and also getting insurance on my cars and things like that. And also there's a political upheaval where I live. Actually, I think this is the first in North America. The Greens in British Columbia have the balance of power, and no one knows who's going to form the government, because the Green Party has the balance of power, which is kind of interesting and kind of relevant to because that's happened in Europe, but not in North America, as far as I know. So that's it for me.
Interesting. Okay, I believe that brings us to retrospective and process improvement. So we can just keep the same order. So for me, I'm going to go with a 9 for me, for my ability to contribute to the team. Actually feel like my velocity has been speeding up on the WIKISPEED side anyway for the last couple of weeks. And definitely a 10 for the team. The team that we have right now, everybody's very responsive and receptive and helpful, and just idealistic, and all of the good qualities. So definitely a 10 for the team. And I actually, I try not to ever do this, but I did not write a process improvement down, so I've got nothing for me. So would you like to go next, Stanley?
So regarding me individually, I give myself an 8, and I give the team a 10. I don't have a process improvement in mind right now. So yeah.
Good deal. That leaves you, Lauren.
Okay. And okay, I'm a 2 this week, and the team is 10. And the process improvement. So I'm sorry I missed. Did you, Chris? Did you have a process improvement?
No, neither Stanley nor I actually had one.
My process improvement is to go, as we discussed last week, in last week's process improvement, to go to the last week's process improvement tracking sheet, and I'm going to go over to the right, Well, I come down to last week. Most recent one. Come on. Okay, and we'll process improvement runner. Sure, I put it down. Now, I thought I put down process improvement runner up.
You know, I think that there may have only been one process improvement suggestion last week.
As I recall, there was another, and I remember writing it down.
The other one would have been William's suggestion to start tracking the happiness metric, I believe, which I think he actually did a portion of. I think he tracked the one for the team. So maybe we can just modify it to say to track the whole happiness metric. And I'm actually writing that down now. I had a 9 for me, a 10 for the team. Stanley, I believe, had an 8 and a 10. And Lauren, I think I didn't type yours down fast enough, so you're going to have to remind me of what it was. And you're muted right now.
He gave 10 to the team. And
yeah, 10 to the team.
And what was it for yourself?
2. So now I'm dragging it down.
Okay, no, that's fine. That's fine. Okay, I have it written down here, so I'll make sure I make an average of it. Obviously, the team is a 10, and I'll make an average of it and make sure that William gets that information so he can add it to what he's using to track it. So I guess since we only have one, we don't really need to vote on it. So that's something that in the coming weeks we'll see if it actually adds any value, or if we agree that it adds value and is worth continuing doing. So I believe that wraps up our stand-up retro and process improvement and brings us to crosstalk. So real quick, I just wanted to, well, first I'll say, does anyone have anything they need to cover before leaving quickly? Okay. So there is a possibility. I've run into this with some other. Since we've implemented the caching plugin on the website, Stanley, there are certain things that you do updates to and they don't show up on the site because it's caching a previous version. So in some cases, you may have made changes that can fix something, but you have to turn the caching plugin off and back on. In fact, I thought there was a possibility from what I had read that the caching plugin was maybe what was causing the issue. But either way, if you have made changes that you think may fix it, turning the caching plugin off, which I think is W3 cache, off and back on, may actually show us that what you tried has already worked. So that would be my suggestion before we try to start disabling specific plugins that have.
Okay. I'm going to sign off. I put down 3 yay for average happiness itself and team as the process improvement for this week.
Thank you, Lauren. Right? Yeah, that sounds perfect.
Okay. See you all later.
All right. Good night.
Night.
Good deal.
So can you see right now if the custom CSS is fixed?
Sorry. When I look at it does not seem that it is. Again, I don't think that's an issue. Let me check a page that I probably haven't gone to.
Can you send me a link to notice?
Yeah.
The file changes.
Okay, so let me give me just 1 second here. I'll attempt to send this through the chat. Okay, so this is the I've just sent through the chat the Burleson, Texas, USA shop page, and the easiest thing to tell is that none of the links are underlined. But when you're looking at it, there should be some spacing between paragraphs, spacing below the title, things like that. And actually, I may.
I'm going to share you my screen.
Okay.
How to do that? Here. Tell me when you see the screen.
Yeah, I can see it.
So this is.
Okay, so on yours it is working. Okay, so actually that was the next thing I was going to say is that that's why I tried to go to another page, because there is a possibility that, and actually, if you've not ever gone to this page, then the browser caching feature, which I was going to ask you on W3 Cache, did you turn the browser caching feature on, or was it already on?
I remember. Yeah,
I noticed it is on, but I wasn't sure if it had previously been on or not.
I remember going to the cache plugin, and yeah, the cache was enabled, and what I did was purging the cache and restart.
Right, like the
purging, purging and restation.
Yeah, purge and save or something. Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about.
I did that. I did that to see if some changes took effect from what I was trying to do.
Okay.
But,
so when did you do that?
Yeah, maybe a couple of weeks ago, maybe 2 weeks ago.
Okay. So there's two possibilities right now that I'm thinking. One is that I just need to turn the whole plugin off and back on again quickly.
Yeah.
The other possibility, because you just pulled it up and have not been to that page before and it's working now, excuse me, is that it's actually my local browser cache. And
we can try that. What if you hard refresh? Are you on you're on Windows PC, right?
Yes. I'm using Google Chrome.
I think in Windows you can hard refresh with Control R, I believe. I'm not yeah, maybe you can try Control Alt or Shift F5. One of those is hard reset. One of those, but I'm not sure which one.
I'm in Google Chrome. Hopefully it'll be the same. So give me 1 second. Let me see. I mean, I definitely have run into this before when updating things on web pages, that the local browser cache can be an issue. Okay, so Control R in Chrome does not seem to be doing anything.
Oh,
so you said the other is
not refreshing the page?
Oh no, I'm sorry. I was being impatient. Yeah, so this issue, so what you did today did fix the issue, which is awesome. And
okay, so Control R. Okay. So it's Control R then. Okay.
Right.
Cool.
Right.
Cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Everything looks perfect now.
So the issue was that I was trying to avoid loading scripts we were not using, but in doing so, I accidentally stopped loading scripts that we were using.
Oh, I see. Right.
So I just have to went back and activate all over again. I mean,
the issue with that is normally in WordPress that would not have been a problem for CSS because you're actually using the style.css file. But this new setup, the plugin system is interesting to say the least.
Yeah.
So it actually is loaded by a script. And when I went and inspected the elements in Google Chrome and could see that the file, whatever file that it should be using from code, was just not even, it just didn't even exist. So that does make sense that they're actually loading that CSS on demand with a script.
Yeah. You know, at a first glance, it looked like it was doing nothing, and I was like, the script loading nothing, and I was like, okay, this script is loading nothing, but apparently it was loading some configuration files that I wasn't aware of.
Yeah, I found like I said, the way the membership plugin works and the way that the theme background works with that code stuff is fairly intricate. It's kind of hard to track down where information is living in all the files. So it has been an interesting learning curve. It still seems very functional once you start getting used to how it's laid out, but it is.
WordPress is very easy to get started with, but it's very difficult to customize it. It's like you sacrifice freedom for speed.
Well, and I would actually say it's almost easier to customize yourself. Like the structure that WordPress sets forth. I mean, there's a lot you can do with it, but when you start tying into other plugins people have written, and then now you're maybe living in a world that is not necessarily WordPress standards, which is what I found with some of these. Yeah, so there's everywhere you would expect if you just had used WordPress forever, and everywhere you would expect to edit something, that doesn't seem to be where it is under this setup. So. Okay, well that's awesome. If you don't mind, I'll go ahead and move that Trello card all the way to done.
I'm glad it worked. Yeah, and sorry about.
Oh no. I mean, again, I understand adding functionality sometimes causes issues and bugs that we have to track down, which is no problem. I'm glad we got it taken care of so quickly.
Yeah, but that script adds like, I don't remember, 2 or 3 seconds of load time.
Right. Yeah. So we made
that one.
So the next steps then maybe to be able to go through and start editing that script and editing out the things that we know we don't need.
I don't think that will work, because if we ever update code plugin or related plugins, those files will get overwritten, and our changes will not make sense. Yeah.
True. Okay.
Well, changes will get just overwritten at every update of the plugin. So yeah, I think we are stuck with our current loading time.
Okay. So yeah, we may need to find other ways to speed up the page. Or I mean, it's actually it's so much better than it was that it may almost be considered acceptable at this point. Even on my phone, it doesn't take long to, certain pages take longer than others depending on what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the image optimizations made a huge impact, but I think that
absolutely.
I think reducing the video size, file size, I think that was key for
right. It's especially on the home page, because the home page was loading that big video file, which is usually where people are going to end up. Not always. I mean, I've checked out the Google Analytics on the site, and sometimes people come to pages other than the home page. But a lot of times it's just you're coming directly to the home page. So if that's the slowest page to load, that's the best one to fix, right?
Cool. Well, I'm glad it works then.
Awesome. Awesome. I appreciate it. Super. Double high fives for sure. All right, so there is a possibility that the recording that I tried to do did not work, because it did not turn into the stop button like it's supposed to. So we'll see on that. But I'll probably go ahead and share my notes to the email forum, just so that it'll be documented. If this recording did work, I will try to get it uploaded to YouTube also. So did you have any other crosstalk issues that you needed to cover?
No, I think we're fine.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. Well, I will catch you either next week or maybe between then on Slack or email or text message or whatever we need to do.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right. Talk to you later.
All right. Nice seeing you. Bye, Chris.
You too. Bye.
So do you think that that's a female?